Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and today I have a very exciting video planned for us. So the other day I was just browsing the aisles at Joann, as I do, and I stumbled across a new yarn from Big Twist. This is Big Twist's new t-shirt yarn, which I have never seen in store, and the reason this made me so excited is because I've actually never seen a true t-shirt yarn at Joann before. So I knew when I saw this, I needed to pick it up and make something with it immediately. I also haven't seen anyone do a yarn review on it yet lately, so I thought I would do it myself and let you know what my opinions on it are. So this skein of yarn is retailing for $12.99 full price. It's considered a number 6 super bulky weight yarn. It's made of 100% recycled polyester, which is pretty cool. And each skein, you're gonna get 14.1 ounces or 131 yards of yarn. So I think that's a pretty decent amount of yarn, especially considering the price. I got this, of course, on sale for, I believe, maybe $6.99 or so. So I think for $6.99, this is a pretty decent amount of yarn you're getting. I also saw online that they have 14 colorways available, which I feel like is pretty great considering this seems to be a newer fiber for them. And I did see quite a few of those options in store when I was shopping. I was tempted to pick up some other colors, but I thought I should stick to one project first. So I did end up buying 2 of these. This is in the blue color, which this is the colorway Skipping Stone. What a cute name for that. So I picked up 2 of these in Skipping Stone, and the reason I am so excited about this yarn is because I have had 2 projects in mind since last July I've been wanting to make that require a t-shirt yarn, and I've had t-shirt yarn sitting in my Etsy cart, in my save for later. Wool and the Gang has some I was gonna order, but they just never had the right color I wanted, so I knew the second I saw this, I had to pick it up and at least make one of those projects. So the project we're gonna be making today is this. I'll pop it on the screen so you can see. And this was actually a bag I saw at Target last summer, and I almost bought it because I just thought it was so cute. A fun little date night bag or even just everyday bag kind of style. So I almost bought it and I thought, no, don't be silly. You can make something very similar to that. So here we are. We're gonna be making this bag. Now for the body of this bag, I will be knitting it. So it very much will replicate, hopefully, the inspo picture we have here. But then I'm going to alter the design a little bit and crochet the strap. So we will get to see a little bit of both how it knits up and how it crochets as well. Get a full range of its performance on either side. And for this project, I'm going to use the hook and needle sizes they recommend on the label for this yarn. So for this particular project, they recommend both a 9mm crochet hook and 9mm knitting needles. So that is easy. I can easily do both of those things. It has been sitting on my shelf back here for at least a week, maybe a week and a half, waiting for me to use it. I just haven't had time to film this segment, so I've been patiently waiting and I am just ready to get to going. Of course, let you know my thoughts, opinions, all those good things on what I think about this yarn. So let's jump right into it and we can see what I ended up with. Hello guys, so it is the next day and I've actually already finished up the project, and so I'm ready to give you my review on it, what I thought and how it went for me. So for reference, here is our final product. I'll pop the picture back up of our reference. Obviously it's not an exact replica because when I saw the pink one, I looked at it and I thought, make it blue. So we made it in blue, but it is still kind of the same effect, and obviously my yarn was not quite as thick, so there are way more rows of garter stitch than in the photo, but I think it gives generally the same idea. I'm showing you this side first because you can probably see I have a sneaky little bow hanging over because I did this side like this with some bows, and I can't tell if I like it or not. Alternatively, I was thinking about putting like one bow on this side and one bow on this side, but for now, we're just gonna focus on this side of the bag. We did the Romanian cord in crochet for the strap, and that, I have to say, I really like the way I did the strap versus on the Target bag. It looks like it was just a chain neck construction. So I'm very happy. This bag is super, I mean, not super, but it definitely has some good stretch in it. It has some good weight to it. It's pretty heavy, to be honest. It's quite a heavy bag, and it's just such a cute little shoulder bag. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. The most surprising part for me about this bag was this is made of just, this whole bag is one skein of yarn, just one. I actually grabbed my leftovers to show you. This is all that we have left, and we still actually have quite a bit left, which I'm really surprised about. So there you go. That's extra, all made with one skein, which is just absolutely amazing, and it makes this project quite inexpensive. So that's great because the Target one was $40. I know that this cost me my time and my energy and my effort and all that, but for me, it was worth it because I had a lot of fun just designing this bag. So as far as the yarn goes, I did write some stuff down in my notes on my phone. Let me just pull those up really quick. First thing I wanted to say is that I did end up using 10mm knitting needles, just straight needles, instead of 9mm because I didn't have any 9mm on me. So those actually worked perfectly. The straight needle was totally fine. It glided well on the wood, so that was good. I didn't have any problems with it sticking or anything like that. And for me, 10mm was actually perfect because I hold a very tight tension in both crochet and knit. And so the 10mm I feel like helped me have a little bit of give. In crochet, I ended up using a 10mm as well because when I do my Romanian cord, I typically size up a hook size anyway, again, because of my tight tension. A 10mm was the perfect size for this t-shirt yarn for me in my personal experience. Another thing I was very pleased with was when I was weaving in my ends for this yarn, I was going through a lot of knots and stuff and yanking really hard, and I had no major stretching where the fabric wouldn't retract back. So I was very impressed with that. This yarn in general, for what I thought maybe a t-shirt yarn would be, it's not that stretchy, but in a good way almost. I really kind of prefer it to have a minimal amount of stretch like it did in here. And also, I didn't have any issues with any kind of fraying, any pieces shedding off. There was no mess as far as once I cut my ends off. Even I did some like pooling just to see if the t-shirt would kind of unravel and come apart, and it absolutely did not. So here's one of my ends, absolutely no problem at all. Just stayed exact way I cut it. So that is, again, was a huge plus for me. I love a not messy yarn. That's the one thing I hate about chenille yarn, is the mess it makes on my pants, on my couch, wherever I'm working. It's a pain. It also didn't snap at all. I don't know if that's common in a t-shirt yarn for it to snap, but as hard as I was tugging, there was, like I said, no stretch, no snapping, no any issue there whatsoever. The only issue I found was in my one skein I used. Like I said, I only ended up using one, but in the first maybe like third round or so of the bag, I did come across one factory knot, and so I was a little bit worried I was going to be getting a bunch of those as I went along, but I had no more issues with them throughout the rest of the project. No more factory knots, and that was another huge plus for me because, like I said, I was scared that with a t-shirt yarn maybe there would be a lot of knotting, but none whatsoever besides the one I had there. I might go get a different color because that green was really calling my name, so I'm gonna go pick up the green, and I assume there will be no factory knots in there, but if there is, I'll pin a comment and highlight it if I came across any more factory knots. But so far, like I said, just the one, so that's not a huge problem with me. I can live with one factory knot. And last thing I wanted to say about this yarn is I feel like this yarn is a fantastic yarn for a beginner because one, it's nice and chunky and big, so you can practice with some very large hooks or needle sizes, which is always a great thing as a beginner, I think. And there's no chance of yarn splitting. So none of the fiber strands split apart or anything like that, so you don't need to worry about any of those things. So I would definitely highly recommend a beginner kind of look at a t-shirt yarn maybe as a great yarn to practice tension on, practice basic stitch construction down. I feel like this yarn would actually be a really great choice for a beginner. I just thought this would be a quick, nice little video to give you my thoughts. I would rate this yarn 10 out of 10 is really hard to say. I'm also worried to give it a 10 out of 10 because Big Twist made Big Twist Posh yarn, and I loved Big Twist Posh. I thought it was great, and then they took it away from us. What was that about? So I'm afraid to get attached, really. maybe that's my own personal problem, but I'm afraid to get attached to this t-shirt yarn because what if they take it away from me? But I'll give it a 9.5 for the one factory knot it had. I'll take half a point from there. But like I said, I think the color selection's good. The price is good, especially when you get it on a nice sale price. Even for $12.99, I think for being able to create a whole entire bag with one skein, I'm pretty impressed by that. So overall, I think this yarn is a double thumbs up, a great yarn to give a shot. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments what you end up making with it. I also kind of want to mess around and make some nice pot holders with it because a nice luxury pot holder would be with this. It just works up so thick when you do the garter stitch, and so I think it'd be great for that. I'm also in need of replacing some of my old crocheted pot holders, so maybe like some of these, but this would be a great yarn for a lot of around the house projects. I think maybe a basket would be a great project to make. So all sorts of ideas there. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. If you've tried this yarn, definitely let me know in the comments what your thoughts were and what you would rate it on a 1 to 10 scale. Did you end up with more factory knots than me? Or maybe less? I hope for less for you. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video today. Drop a like, share this with your other crochet friends who might be interested in this t-shirt yarn. And as always, thank you for letting me take up a little bit of your time here on the internet today. I will be seeing you guys in my next one. Bye!